Part 2. Then we had Triple H and Vince do their little suck-off promo. Triple H, don't do it, Vince. Vince, I've got to do it, Triple H. Oh, I respect you so much. I respect you too, Triple H. I die a little inside whenever one of these happens. Then we had Vicky Guerrero come out and announce that she had decided to become the new general manager of Raw. Because Raw had become stale and stagnant without her. Now, the actual truth here is that SmackDown has become stale and stagnant, and that's why they're moving Vicky Guerrero, who, let's face it, is the most over heel in the entire company, more than Randy Orton, more than Chris Jericho, more than Edge. She is it. And they're moving her to the flagship show, which I'm really happy about, because I find her incredibly entertaining. I find all the storylines that surround her to be just hilarious, and yeah, I'm glad about this. It also means that Edge is probably moving to Raw, which again is probably a good thing, getting seen by a wider audience. And the way that during and the build up to WrestleMania they just kind of ignored SmackDown makes me think anyone I want to see should be on Raw. Basically, she immediately uses her new GM power for evil, and books Edge versus Cena at Backlash. Apparently it's supposed to be a last man standing match, and she just forgot to mention it. You've got to love Vicky Guerrero. She's just so incompetent on the mic. She also makes the 6-man tag match mentioned earlier to be a title match in which if any member of Triple H's team gets pinned, Randy Orton becomes champion, which is good news because as someone noted on my WrestleMania review, Triple H just won't take a pin anymore. So this is a way for Batista to get pinned and Randy Orton to become champion. I wish that Triple H would just put people over, but he clearly refused to do it, so if you're not going to do it, let someone else do it. Randy Orton is the guy right now, you're not, okay? But yeah, I'm glad Vicky Guerrero is going to be general manager of Raw. Then we see Legacy in the corridor, so they do still exist. Have you noticed how Legacy just stand around in corridors not talking to each other? You know how the NWO, you always felt like they would have like a laugh with each other backstage, maybe play some cards. Legacy just, I do just get the feeling, just wouldn't talk to each other, and if they did, it'd be about how successful their dads were relative to them. But anyway, then we had Santina Marella. I reckon this gimmick is going to stick for a long time. Come out and talk about the joys of being Miss WrestleMania, talk about the future modeling career, she presumes, talk about the glory of any woman's life, having children with a nice man. And then Beth Phoenix comes out and comes to the ring. And I think this is about the first time in 4 or 5 weeks that we've actually had a woman on the mic, in the ring, on a major WWE show. I mean, it's been a long time, and Beth is actually pretty good here. She does a good job. Says that Santino is just making a fool out of himself. And then they have a match, a really short match, in which the commentators don't note the fact that Beth Phoenix can pick Santino up quite easily. Has this been established before? I don't know, because it was really quite impressive for me. But basically, Santina falls on Beth Phoenix and gets the pinfall. Once again, the women's division has become a joke. The worst man in all of wrestling is also the best woman. How ridiculous. I know I've criticised women's wrestling before, but it's not because I don't like women's wrestling. It's not because I don't think women's wrestling can be good. It's just because they're just putting models in there to wrestle rather than actual wrestlers. But this is just the end of the division. You know, the fact that any old man could come in and beat up all the divas is just, wow, this is bad storyline for women's wrestling. Finally, we get Randy Orton versus Vince, which I was hoping would be a vicious squash match by Randy Orton on Vince. But of course, Vince McMahon's ego wouldn't quite allow this, so we had the obligatory period of Vince domination, in which he slapped Randy Orton to the ground and delivered the most unconvincing elbows to the head. Then Orton takes over. He does that inverted backbreaker, which is great, knees to the back of the head. It seems like he is trying to break his neck, and an RKO, and then he's setting up for the punt, and it's got vicious enough for me now, and I'm looking for the punt. But Shane comes in and delivers his unique fighting style. And then Legacy come in to take care of Shane, and then Triple H comes in. Basically, it's just a series of run-ins, and then Triple H starts getting dominated by all of Legacy, and Michael Cole says the numbers game is taken over. It's 3-on-3, but whatever. Then Batista's music plays, and I thought we might just get another month without him showing back up, but alas, he's here. The King says it wouldn't be Batista without a Batista bomb. Yeah, you're right, it wouldn't be Batista without an incredibly limited array of offense, poorly performed. So we got to see the spear, the spine buster, the Batista bomb, you know, just the only things he does. Basically, this is just horrifying. Once again, another talentless main eventer who's going to shoot right back up to the top of the card. As if Triple H and John Cena weren't enough, but whatever. Vince gets on the mic, says he won't make it to Backlash, and that Batista is going to take his place in that match. Randy Orton looks terrified. I look horrified. And that was the end of Raw. And all in all, like I said at the start, it was a bit like the day after your birthday. You don't really know what's going to go on for the rest of the year. You're a bit bored, it's a bit dull, and the WWE doesn't really know which angles they're going to take here. They don't really know if they're going to continue the Edge Big Show thing. This came up particularly in that tag challenge match. They don't know if they're going to continue Legends versus Jericho or Matt versus Jeff, etc., etc. So it's all just a bit up in the air right now. But it was okay. It was okay. I suppose you'd like it much more if you like Batista. Anyway, yeah, feel free to make the show better by commenting, rating, asking questions, perhaps, or you can subscribe if you wish. And yeah, okay. Bye.